Alright, so we're working on the tailgate today. About, I don't know, a week and a half ago or so, we folded the tailgate up at the end of a job, and we got home that day. We couldn't get the tailgate back down. It was just stuck tight. Pull the handle, it feel like the levers were releasing, but it wouldn't drop. And what we found is because my tailgate here, it can scoot back and forth. See it move right in here? There's supposed to be bushings in there. When we had the truck redone, the guy didn't have those bushings and we never got around to putting them back in. Those bushings keep it centered up. So what happened when we shut the tailgate, it was slid over that way, and the latch mechanism here got beside this. You can see where it's worn right there. So it didn't bite on the bolt like it's supposed to. It was stuck beside the bolt. And it was just jammed up tight. So we got to working on it today. I took all this off first thinking maybe my latch mechanism was broken, but it's not. It was working fine. But I'll tell you about that in a second. But yeah, finally I was able to look in there and see this, and I tried tapping it with a hammer, which caved in the tailgate. I tried kicking it with my foot, which bent it and ripped that, which really aggravates me, but I think my little piece of trim cap that goes on will cover it just fine, so I might get away with that. But it ended up just being wedged. Anyway, I was going to show you the mechanism. I've showed a video about this before, but the way this works, when you pull the handle on the outside of the tailgate, that mechanism turns, and these two rods here extend out to your latch mechanism. In the past, I've had this plastic clip just simply break. If your tailgate's busted and you can't get your tailgate latch to work, it's probably that. These plastic clips just get old, brittle, they break. So you have to take this plate here, which that one's original Ford red, so it's repainted and lined. You have to take that plate off. It's just some star-headed screws or maybe some hex nuts, whatever. And then you'll be able to see this mechanism, so then you can actually work on it and see if that is in fact what's hanging up. If it is, you can get these for a pack of two, is like $2 or $3 at O'Reilly's or something like that. So just figured I'd show that to you guys. But for now, since I'm too lazy and too cheap to get these bushings, and I'll forget for the next 3 years, every time I fold my tailgate back up, I have to watch carefully and make sure that it's lined up on the latch studs here before I can't just slam it up. If I try to just throw it up real quick and slam it, it'll get jammed again. So I've got to kind of guide it up and make sure it all lines up good. But just thought I'd share that with you guys, what I was having to deal with if your tailgates are messed up. It's kind of the troubleshooting process. They're not real complicated, and not all the parts are replaceable. So tear it apart and see what's wrong. All right, let's get out of here. Ain't great. It's working again. Maybe one of these days I'll get it fixed. Probably. Hey, a little bit of closure on the tailgate here. Figured out part of why it's messed up. Of course, I showed you guys that my tailgate can shift back and forth real easy, but look at this. The whole latch is loose. And that's because there's a bolt missing right there. There should be a bolt. Look over on the other side. There's the bolt right there. It's gone. So that holds that latch over tight against the edge of the tailgate. So what's happening is when I put, because I just had to pop it loose again just a couple days later from when I made that last video, I just had to pop it loose again. When I put my tailgate up, if I don't watch where this latch is at and make sure that it bites this, it wants to flop over and get beside it. And somehow when it gets beside it, it just binds up so tight, even though it's not, even though it's not actually holding anything. I can't seem to, I tried to kick the tailgate the other day and couldn't get it to come down. Even though this latch is not engaged, it just somehow binds up super tight. Just now, I had to reach in, of course, with the tailgate up. It was stuck up. I reached in with a screwdriver here and just put right on that latch and thumped it with a hammer, and it popped and the tailgate dropped. But me pulling on it and fighting with it and wrestling with it, I couldn't get it. So anyway, I'll have to see if I can get a bolt for that latch mechanism, see where I can find one. Or if I can just buy a replacement. I don't know. I'm overdue for a trip to the auto parts store, but that is a key issue to my problem there. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't help that I don't have my bushings, but that certainly isn't helping either.